Hi, my name is Melinda Crennan-Hill, licensed therapist and one of the co-founders of the Concussion Fix program. Today, I'm going to talk to you about one of the most overlooked factors in concussion recovery, the nervous system. Beginning to understand the role of our nervous system in recovery and how this contributes to ongoing symptoms is a really important step, and one that's often missed. So I'd like to start just by helping you to understand the important role of the autonomic nervous system and how it functions. So briefly, the autonomic nervous system monitors and regulates essential functions that help us to be alive and functioning as human beings. Often these processes are done without any conscious effort. So for example, essential functions of the autonomic nervous system include heart rate and blood pressure, oxygen delivery and breathing rates, digestion, body temperature regulation, immune and inflammatory responses, balancing hormones. They're responsible for hormone release, sleep and wakefulness, energy levels, stress responses, recovery from stress particularly, and emotional regulation. So you can really start to think of the autonomic nervous system as our body's master regulator. It's constantly gathering information from the environment, both in terms of what's going on in your body as well as what's happening around you, and then making necessary adjustments to balance its functioning in those core areas I just listed. So the more the body can remain stable and balanced to changing internal and external demands, the more the body is really able to recover, instead of diverting resources towards more survival and protection. So what happens to us after concussion is that many people experience a disruption in how this system functions. So for example, the nervous system may become over or under reactive to stressors, which can really cause our nervous system to respond to normal everyday experiences as if it's under threat. When the nervous system is responding from a place of threat or protection, this can equate to more symptom flares. One way to frame this imbalance that can happen in the nervous system is whether the nervous system is responding to the environment as through a lens of safety or through a lens of danger or threat. So when responding through a lens of danger, the nervous system becomes dysregulated and stuck in protective patterns. Makes sense. Versus when responding through a lens of safety, the nervous system can return to a normal baseline following stress and resume these essential functions within a timely manner, right? With this safety response, the body and nervous system becomes more adaptive and resilient and puts our body and brain in a place to start healing and recover. According to a theory called the Polyvagal Theory, our nervous system is constantly asking one question: am I safe? More often than not, the response to this question when living with PCS is no. The body's not feeling safe. So it starts to respond by increasing these protective responses and further dysregulating the body and nervous system. This can truly become a chronic state in concussion recovery and something that really contributes to the development and maintenance of our PCS symptoms. So as I mentioned, this means more symptom flares, more perpetuated and exacerbated symptoms than maybe they need to be. This creates a cascade of different responses: challenges recovering from stress, challenges regulating your mood, and overall just struggles to make gains in your recovery or to support the resolution of some of your primary concussion symptoms. So let's think of a simple example. We're thinking about a headache. A headache occurs. This is something typical that you've likely been experiencing since your concussion or since persistent concussion symptoms have developed. You become worried about the headache because your nervous system is in this protective space. You're responding to that stress, the headache stress, as a threat. So the symptom of the headache is interpreted as danger. Our stress system then becomes activated. So our nervous system goes into this protective mode. It's interpreting headache as danger because we're worrying so much about it, and we think of it and probably associate it with our injury. We associate it with a potential symptom flare or with us not being able to keep up with whatever's happening that day as a result of the headache. So what the nervous system does is it shuts down any non-essential functions in order to attend to the threat and remains in this hypervigilant state. can also be a shutdown response, which we'll get into more later. But what happens in this cycle is the headache gets worse. The body's sensitized, you're going to notice more, your PCS symptoms rise. You may even notice some of the other non-predominant PCS symptoms that you might have, like dizziness, imbalance, blurry vision, fatigue, brain fog, whatever it is for you. More worry follows as a result, right? A self-perpetuating cycle develops. These negative feedback loops happen all the time in PCS individuals and can really keep us stuck. So this is an important one. In order to address this self-perpetuating cycle or this negative feedback loop per se, it comes with and starts with a mindset shift, recognizing what's happening in our nervous system so that our body and brain can respond more adaptively to what we've interpreted as danger. Now, this doesn't mean this is all within your control. Our nervous system is often responding without your conscious awareness. So the nervous system response can happen outside of your conscious awareness. And sometimes it takes a while for our awareness to develop to the point where we can catch up to what's happening underneath the surface in our nervous system responses. So a mindset shift, once we do develop this awareness, is recognizing that the headache is an uncomfortable symptom, but it's not a threat. This really helps us with our sense of control. It decreases emotional responses to the symptom, but also it teaches our nervous system that getting a headache does not need to be equated with sounding off all the alarm bells, signaling danger, so that it stays in a protective and maladaptive state. Instead, if we can start signaling the nervous system for cues of safety, the nervous system can return to baseline. It can stay adaptive and flexible to the face of uncomfortable symptoms like a headache without becoming chronically dysregulated. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. So being able to step out of these negative feedback loops allows the nervous system to start responding to safety instead of danger. And when it can respond to safety, it returns to this baseline of regulation sooner and helps you promote healing and recovery. Well, I would also say being very empowering for the individual, because this can feel like regaining a sense of control. So to wrap up this brief chat about the autonomic nervous system and our nervous system dysregulation that can occur with PCS, if you've been struggling with persistent concussion symptoms, it's important to know that your nervous system is a true key factor in supporting your recovery. Within our Concussion Fix program, we talk extensively really about nervous system regulation as a foundational pillar of our recovery framework. And we do this because when the nervous system feels safe, the brain and body can start to do what they're designed to do, adapt and heal, and build resilience for our recovery. So to learn more about our step-by-step approach for healing from persistent concussion symptoms, you can visit us at concussionfix.com. Again, my name is Melinda Creinenhill, one of the co-founders of the program, and hopefully I'll see you inside the program and we can continue chatting about the nervous system.